You ever just have like this perfect video idea in your head, and then you go and try to do it, and then you completely forget the entire thing? So you want to be a guitarist. If you figure it out, let me know, because as like a pretty new beginner to guitar, I feel like I can share like a couple of things that I wish I knew like in the first 30 minutes of learning the guitar. Step 1, buy a computer or a laptop and get a DAW. Don't worry about buying all this shit. That shit is so fucking expensive. No, I did not play in the band live, but I did buy their equipment. I met Chad Taylor, solid guy. Kind of lowballed him. He didn't like that very much. We made it work. The reason why I have that there is I just quit a band, and they told me to get my shit, so it's just gonna sit there for now. I don't have like a goal or a theme for this video. I guess mainly it's to introduce myself, so I can put out consistent uploads. This is kind of like a pilot, but I do kind of want to go over a couple of guitar stuff. I want to start uploading videos that are centered around guitar and music in general, because it's a pretty big part of my life. This is my baby. The thing about me is, what is that? What is the thing about me? I've really only like recently started to scratch the surface of like more advanced guitar ideas. Really becoming like an expert at the fretboard, and that includes like other scales and shit. Like, what's up, Butter? What's up? This is Dog. Look at the boy. Look at this guy. Oh, sorry. I think like a big piece of advice for, you know, beginner, intermediate guitars is like try to learn like your favorite songs. Because like if you try to like do all the scaling and try to figure all that shit out, like you're not gonna really know what to do with that. But when you learn like a song, you can then like apply that knowledge and see how it was used. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, somebody hands you a hammer with no context, like ever. You've never seen a hammer in your life, right? And you're like, okay, that's cool. It's a great thing. It looks like it's useful. But like you have to like, it's gonna take a while for you. You know, that's a bad example. I don't really know what I'm trying to explain at this point. The point is, try to learn like your favorite songs, and then like try to pick up like harder songs. Like I listen to like so many different guys that like are legends, and I'll never be as close to them ever, but it's gonna make me a better guitarist. But like you'll figure out different patterns. Like for instance, like Randy Rhoads, I think it's Over the Mountain. But it's just a simple. I know I say simple, but point is that you learn the song. That's literally just like right in the middle of his solo, and then you can use that shit wherever else you want. You know what I mean? Like in your own stuff, or like just kind of building on top of that. You know what I mean? I think another big thing is, especially when it comes to writing your own music, don't like overcomplicate it, right? Because like you're gonna want to try to make it as complicated as possible, but it's just gonna make it harder on yourself. So like for instance, there's like 10 metal songs that use like the same 2 chords. I can show you because I'm in drop D. For instance, like Deftones. Foo Fighters. For Heaven, I think it's Youngest Daughter. It's like. Point is, don't overcomplicate it. Play around with the same shit everybody else is. Here's a good one. If you're trying to get faster, this is 2 parts. Practice with a metronome, and play as fast as you possibly can. No, play slightly faster than where you would play it cleanly, if that makes sense. So like, let's say you're trying to like do some crazy fast picking, like on a scale. Find a BPM that you can do cleanly. You know, like not as much noise, not as many missed notes, and then bump it up slightly more. It's kind of like you gotta like kind of you gotta treat it like if you've been to the gym. The only way you get stronger is by doing slightly more than what you normally couldn't handle, right? That's like the whole point is failure. So you kind of have to treat it like that with training, where you find a spot where you can do it comfortably and good, and then add like 10 to 20 BPM and try to do the same thing. And then you're gonna mess up. It's gonna sound like shit maybe, but you're gonna train your muscles to react faster. It's all the twitch. It's a twitch muscle in your arms and your fingers that you have to practice with. I'm doing it myself. Like this is how I train. This is how I practice, because you hear all these people who are like, oh, like don't play super fast because then you don't build up the habit or the technique. While there's some truth to that, you don't want to like go super fast, but you need to play faster than a book is telling you to. You know what I mean? Practicing with the metronome is probably going to be the biggest thing, especially if you want to get faster. Anyway, that's kind of all I really wanted to start with. I'm going to try to put out more videos. I'm going to have more structured. I have a couple ideas in mind that I'm going to record soon. Like I'm not a professional, but that doesn't mean that you can't have fun doing this, you know? Don't do shit that you're not going to enjoy. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned in anything, is like, if you're not enjoying it, don't do it. So, if you don't want to put the guitar down, find a fun way to get better. Which is kind of what I'm going to try to do with this channel. So, stay tuned.